Welcome to the Digital Marketing Insights podcast, brought to you by Brightside Digital.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to say we have Erik today, who's a campaign analyst. Erik, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Tom?
Yeah, very good, buddy.
Great.
Erik, can we start off by you telling everyone a little bit about yourself and your career to date, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm super happy to participate in this podcast and collaborate a bit, and also happy with this space where like so many other professionals of different areas in marketing discuss like a lot of different topics in marketing. So, and I just want to share with you that the podcast is on my list already as a way to expand part of my skills. So it's super great. So, thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
So like first of all, I'm a marketeer like for a long time already. So I'm a Brazilian citizen, live in Ireland for the last 8 years, and working in digital marketing for the past 10 years plus. But in marketing itself, around like since 2005, so around like 17, 18 years in total, like in different companies, businesses, like in different positions as well. So and I did my transition to digital marketing around like say like 2010 2011, where like companies were like start increasing exponentially their marketing budgets into digital marketing. And I'd say that at that time was a lack of knowledge what we could it could be done. So lots of companies, especially like small and medium businesses, I think they have their websites. Some of them have kind of they were forced to interact with like customers and social media channels, for example, but they didn't know yet exactly what to do. So how to create like a better planning and what they could have like a good return, and what kind of like different campaigns they could set, and the types of goals and KPIs and how to track their campaigns as well. So it was, I'd say, a lot of and actions, implementing a lot of actions like testing and how you could improve these and bring a better result. So I think that was kind of like the scenario and the first decade of like the 21st century, I'd say, like 2000, 2010. So in like 2010, 2011, I think that the martech industry has been a bit more consolidated as an industry, and then I think they're like kind of creating a lot of things to support marketeers, and then they were like helping them how to manage better their efforts and track better their campaigns. But I believe everything developed at that time served as kind of a guide for what you have at the moment. Obviously, a lot of things progress, a lot of so they're still doing a lot of new things every year, and developing new features of the things that the solutions that we already have in the more in market. But all of that then like where we can assess better our campaigns and integrate all our marketing actions and technologies that helps a lot marketeers how to manage their work, their plans, and actually get a better return on investment overall. So I'd say that the world has changed a lot, and for someone that me that started in the health industry, working in a hospital in the B2B B2C sector, uh, and then where you have, I think, as the kind of industry that you have a lot of regulations around like advertising and marketing actions and etc. And then and that jumped to someone that jumped after to FMCG. There was like much more like product development management part, and working like in tech companies, B2B, for example. And I could see that a lot of sectors that aren't traditionally in marketing, like for example tech B2B, I think they were kind of obligated to develop their brands more, and also different actions to help them to to help them in the sales process and their sales funnel. So I believe they're much more aware of their sales funnel, I think, because of that, and then what kind of actions they need to do for each part of their funnels, and the expected result, and bring the expected result for the company. So and yeah, like since I've moved to Ireland, and in 2014 I've been working as a digital marketer, so digital exec manager and in marketing area in in the tech sector, like B2B and B2C, much more B2B. So I had experience in like SaaS company and a cloud company as well, and in a giant media advertising company where I started working with much more with like programmatic media into 2017, I'd say 2017, 2018. And then until my current position, that I'm much more focused in campaign analysis management, and in the with programmatic media for like a media company in the tourism sector.
And what would you see as your main strength in digital now?
I think that because I've been working with like programmatic media, and what when I was in this other company that I worked in the sales side of programmatic media, I learned a lot of this side, like helping publishers how they could monetize better their ad inventory. And now working in the buy side, like buying media directly for a lot of different clients, but again in the programmatic area as well, as I kind of know a bit of the two different roles. So I'd say that my strength now could be like more in programmatic at the moment.
Brilliant. And like, do you have an example of your success in programmatic, something you could share with our audience about, how to do it and how to be successful in it?
Yeah. So well, in the sales side, I think it's like there are a lot of things you could do, and how you could manage better your ad inventory. So I think obviously it depends of the sector you are in. Like for example, like media sector, and then like what content you're doing, and how what type of ads you're going to, for example, place in those specific areas, in those specific places on your on your website as well. But then uh, a lot of things that you could do, how you're selling your ad inventory to the advertisers as well. So I think data is a really important part of how you see the work you're doing and what the results you're bringing to the company. So to be aware that how you're managing your ad inventory, I think that's the best thing that you could do. How you could do better. Like for example, how you could push more one another area. And I think for the buy side, obviously everything that we could do, you could do in terms like of like from the setting up the campaign until like creating like the specific audience to reach to target the specific people that you want, and bring the specific result as well. So it's just there are a lot of different actions. I think that there's not one specific that I could highlight. But yeah, I think data probably is the most important part of the work that we do to manage better. Doesn't matter if in the buy side or the sell side, how you could do better the work we are already doing.
And what softwares, when you talk the buy-in and sell side, what software would you refer to?
Yeah, so at the moment I work with two programmatic channels, that was like Google DV360 and Xander as well. So depends of the type of campaign we run, we use one on another. So I think the campaigns that demand higher, like a bigger inventories. So like DV360 Google offers like a better solution, I'd say. But I think for other types of campaigns, I think Xander has a good and has a good inventory as well, especially when it comes like to CTV, for example.
That's brilliant because I believe Xander's been recently bought by Microsoft. So,
Yeah.
can you explain to everyone how Xander works and how you set that up? Because I'm sure loads of listeners have heard about programmatic and want to know the softwares and what options they have. So, could you explain Xander for us?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like Xander is like a programmatic media. So, and then the way you set like is similar that the way you set, for example, the V360, the way you set campaigns. So it's not that complicated, but the same way that you set campaigns on the V360, you set on Xander. So all the parts like setting up your IOs, your insertion orders, like creating your line items, and then creating the audiences you're going to select for each one of those line items, and what kind of strategy that you have for your campaign as well. So it's type of goals, the type of KPIs you're gonna to track as well. So yeah, I think especially when it comes to CTV, for example, I think Xander offers like a really good inventory because if I'm not wrong, I think they came from like a media company that were like really specialized in CTV before, like in digital in TV ads before. So I think they have kind of good expertise in this area. But yeah, so a lot of things have been developed in this area. So I think they offer like it's a really good platform.
And where do you go for insights and new information?
Well, I think like internal and like especially because I'm working in a media company, so we have a lot of internal informations that you can access in our database. So that's I think is the main point. So similar clients in similar areas. For example, obviously, I'm working in a media company that works in the tourism sectors. That, but for example, if I'm talking about a campaign for like hotels, so and I wanted to see how is the CPM, or how is there like some specific KPIs for like any geos specifically, or like any type of hotels as well, so I could go internally and check those information that could serve to me as a guide, and it's really important. But also there are other informations that we can get from the commercial team. So the commercial team is it's my main client at the moment. I don't talk directly with clients, but then getting information for the commercial team, I think it's crucial because I can get more information how these clients are working, and how they are doing, and how the strategy they're using, for example. So getting those external information extra as well, that helps me a lot to how to manage better the campaigns.
Brilliant. And Eric, let's talk about you for a second. Is there any areas you're looking to upskill into?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there are a lot of them, but I think the main one is the data management part. I think I there's a kind of a lack on my CV, I'd say, in this part. I think the main one is because I've never worked so much with data before. Before I worked in my previous company, that was Google, and so before that I think I never worked, so and I have like only some few years working like in the data management part. So like SQL, like SQL, it's one of the main points that have been developed, but I think that I still have to develop a bit more. And Tableau as well, that we use Tableau in my current company, so it allows us to create like interactive dashboards to help with data visualization. Is really focused on and BI, and I think it's really important, especially when managing a lot of different campaigns in different areas with like different KPIs and etc. It helps a lot uh, to have an overview of everything.
Yeah, I bet it does. Tableau, yeah, I can imagine it works really well with the programmatic platforms.
Yeah.
Um, and looking at the digital industry as a whole, obviously you've worked for Google. Is there anything in the future or anything that really excites you that might be happening in the next couple of years?
Good question. I think when I came to my current company, I was like thinking that to keep working in the media sector, I think it was something that I would like to. So obviously, like Google, it's a giant company, and it offered me a lot of knowledge to expand my knowledge and to get new skills, like for example in programmatic. But so keep working in the media sector. I think it's my main intention. I'm pretty happy in the work I'm doing at the moment, and the company as well. But I think if I'm not in my current company, so probably I would like to keep working in the media sector, because it's like so dynamic. It's so many things happening at the same time, and it helps me a lot to grow and expand my knowledge and get new skills and learn how the work it's how the road is working and etc. So I think it's a working in the media sector. I think it's the right place for me, considering my previous experiences and what I wanted for my future.
Brilliant answer. And Eric, we always end the show on this question, which is if you could bottle up one personality trait yourself that you could pass on to others, what would it be?
Wow, it's a super great question. Well, there are a couple of personalities, like Brazilian personalities, like American personalities, but I'd say that everything that I've heard, that I saw, and that I followed from Barack Obama, I think it's one personality that I kind of inspire me in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think Barack Obama, like for everything have he represented to not only to United States, but I think for the world in general, like how to give like hope for a lot of people. There are a lot of things and that I was expecting more in the politically from him, but like in general, I think he's a really good personality that I admire, and then inspires me a lot. Yeah.
What a brilliant answer. And lastly, Eric, if anyone wanted to touch base with you, I'm sure there would be people that might want to know about programmatic and your work, your analytics work. How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think my Instagram account, my LinkedIn account is the best way. I think it's like linkedin.com /Erik Oliv. Erik is ERIK OLIV. So I think is the best way to contact me. Yeah,
Brilliant. Thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Eric, for being on the show.
no problem. Thank you.